And Westby brings it out. They'll reset the offense for the second time. Now Newbert's pumping up a three, and he hits it. All of a sudden, Cade Newbert decided to take a three, and he drops it in. And the lead goes to Sauk Centre now at 7-6 on a three-point basket by Cade Newbert. Here's a long three by Hyder, and that's in. That was long distance by Dylan Hyder. Melrose has the ball. They lead by 3. Cervantes faking, driving baseline. Kicks it off. Van Beck's three from the baseline is good. Zach Van Beck knocks down a three-point shot. It's rebounded away by Westby. Dylan Hyder has 1-3 tonight. Here's a long three for Tanner Reeland, and he puts it in. Tanner Reeland, a long shot that time. The three is good. Sauk Centre has taken over the lead, and Melrose will call a timeout. 20-19. Tanner Reeland hits the three to give Sauk Centre the lead by 1 with 4 minutes to go first half. Melrose back the other way. Into the ballgame now as Tyler McLean drives the baseline. Off to Cervantes. He'll take a runner and scores. That was a difficult shot, but made by Frankie Cervantes. That'll tie it up at 26-26. 31-26, Melrose. Hyder's driving the baseline. Inside pass, Birch scores. Boy, that Dylan Hyder. He can find you open. Well, Melrose is building a lead now early in the second half. 33-26. They're up by 7. Their biggest in the first was by 8, but that's when Sauk Centre went on a good run to eventually take the lead. Westby drives inside. He scores. He got to that left hand again. Westby in double figures now with 10. Nelson posting up, back out now. They swing it to Cervantes on the left side. Here comes Hyder, faking the three, driving down to Birch, and an easy score again, set up by Dylan Hyder. Those two work together so well. Hyder to Birch. So Sauk Centre keeps it at a 4-point difference. Melrose inside right away to Regan Nelson, cutting to the basket. Hunter Reeland lays it up and good. To the basket for Hunter Reeland. That's one thing, too, that Melrose does extremely well. They execute their plays. 39-33, Melrose keeping a 6-point lead. Tanner Reeland shooting, and he connects again. Tanner Reeland heating up for Sauk Centre. So the Reelands are scoring for Melrose and Sauk Centre. 39-36, Melrose by 3. Out on top, Regan Nelson, a sophomore. Hyder for a long three. It's good. Dylan Hyder. He had really no daylight to shoot, and he still made it. Center with the ball, down by 1. Tanner Reeland taking his time now, getting by Zach Van Beck, hands it off to Westby. He'll attack to the basket, gets there, lays it up and good. The lead goes to Sauk Centre now, and Melrose will call a timeout. Isaiah Westby does what he does well. Gets to that left hand, laid it up and in by himself, and Sauk Centre has taken over the lead now at 44-43 with 11 to go in the second half. Here comes Westby driving down. He's going to hand it out. Oh, not a good pass. He got it back, though. Reeland swings it to Newbert. Newbert will go to the basket, lays it up, and good. Basket for Cade Newbert. Sauk Centre now has built a 4-point lead at 47-43. Melrose ball, trailing by 2. Cervantes on the baseline. Kevney for 3, good! Trayton Kevney's first basket is a big one. The 3 will give Melrose the lead, 48-47. Up ahead, Newbert, back to Westby. Hyder took it away. Melrose back on the run. Hyder streaking to the basket. Reverse layup is good for Dylan Hyder. Hyder with 19. Now it's just back and forth basketball. Newbert will fire a 3. Good. Cade Newbert hits a 3. 2.5 to go. Let's check that score. Melrose 67, Sauk Centre 59. Cervantes a floater. He puts it in. Now all of a sudden everybody is scoring. 69-59. Melrose still by 10. On the basket by Frankie Cervantes. Here's a wing pass. Just got to Nelson as Newbert went for the steal. Now Hyder has it. Knocked out of his hands, but he still has it. Fires the pass to Birch, who jumped up in the air and scored. 10-point win for the Dutchman, winning at home. The final 75-65 over Sauk Centre. So Melrose now rated number 4 in the state in Class AA basketball. going to 9-0 on the season, winning by 10 at home over Sauk Center. The Sauk Center boys now 7-2 on the season. Let's talk now with Melrose head coach Ryan Dusha. Coach, when I look at a combination of Dylan Hyder and Brady Birch, I don't know in the state of Minnesota, seriously, is there any better than those two guys?
I'm sure there is, but we like them. We like them a lot. Yeah, they. It's a good inside-outside game. We think we can beat you inside and outside. But the thing about them that not a lot of people know is, and you can probably see it on the court, is that they like to play with each other. They do. Dylan likes to find Brady underneath. Brady likes to do some of the screening action for Dylan. Brady likes to run the floor. And so I think there's a trust that's developed over the years with those two guys, and they enjoy playing each other.
When you really start to examine a player like Dylan Hyder, you think of 2 years ago. He's a sophomore playing with, Brigham and the Myers and all those guys, and they're the older guys, but he fit in. And now how has he adjusted to the guys that for a while he hasn't played with, but now here's his classmates and teammates?
Yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, he's the only sophomore on that state championship team and fit in very well. And you're right. Last year I felt he was a leader of our team, but he wasn't the leader of our team. And this year we challenged him to be the leader. And when you are the leader of the team, that comes with some expectations, that comes with some rewards, but also comes with some burdens. That you got to be the best practice player. You just do in every little drill. And so we have challenged him to follow the lead of other guys that have played before us, guys like Cesar Cervantes and Tyler Bregelman and some of those types of guys that came and brought it every single day. And so I think that's where he has stepped up his game a little bit more, was simply in the leadership aspect. So I think, when you play with your own classmates primarily, it's a lot of fun. And the last couple of years, Dylan and Brady were the only ones that really played significant minutes last year. So I think when you play with your guys that you kind of grew up with and hang out with a lot, I don't know if it means more, but there's a little bit more of that the stuff that you can't teach, that kind of idiosyncrasies about each other that you just happen to know because you've been doing it for so long.
And of course we do talk a lot about Dylan Hyder and Brady Birch, but it's kind of fun, I'm sure, as a coach. All of a sudden, who's going to come through and come to your mind, and then you go, how about Trayton Kevney?
Right. It's kind of weird because we're playing 10, 11 guys, and sometimes it's tough for guys to get in the flow. And as I've told you before, Mark, this year more than ever, we have to, as coaches, do a really good job of playing the hot hand and playing the matchup because, tonight Trayton had an excellent second half, and he just took us for a while there, and that was really good to see. So we have a lot of faith in a lot of our guys. Any of those guys can do it. I think it makes it for a fun atmosphere in practice and during the games. You just really never know who's going to be the guy.
A guy who I like, and I'm going to pinpoint a play down against St. Cloud Cathedral. I was just thinking about Regan Nelson's defense. When you say play some defense, get down in a stance and stop this guy, Regan Nelson can do that.
Absolutely, and it starts with his mindset. Tonight, I don't know how he eventually got on Westby, but I know what happened. It wasn't because we said it. He just said, I'm guarding him. And that wasn't the game plan going in at all, but there were times tonight that he said, I want him. And that's happened in a lot of other games as well, that he just says, I'll just take the guy. And for a sophomore to just kind of say, I got him, it says a lot for him. And it starts with that mindset.
It seems you've had games like this against Cathedral, against Sauk Center now, to where it's close, you might even be behind, then things happen and you try to review and you go, what happened there? And then you look up and Melrose is leading by 7. What goes on there?
Yeah, the big thing is depth. We really feel that we need to try to wear teams down, and it might not always happen. It's not just automatically going to happen, but we do feel that teams would get tired in the second half if we keep playing at our tempo. And I don't even think we're playing as fast as we want to right now. I think our guys are still a little bit stuck in gear, so to speak, at times, but that's been an MO for us this year, Mark. It's happened more than once where we've gone on these little runs in the second half.
And as you look at a game like this tonight against Sauk Center at times very patient offensively, and it seemed like both teams wanted to get out and run. Do you think, is that what both teams really wanted to do, was play a little more up-tempo, than at times it wasn't? It seemed kind of I don't know how to describe it, a little messed up in that
Yeah,
way.
yeah, a little bit. I think both teams definitely want to get up and down. Sauk Center I think, came in averaging over 70 points a game, and they've got a lot of very good scorers. And sometimes the flow of the game is dictated by fouls. I think there was quite a few fouls tonight, and the refs did a good job of calling it consistently. But sometimes that takes the flow out and sets up more on the half court. Sauk Center is very difficult to defend. They've got guys that can score, but they're big and strong. So when they're running their stuff, you are getting tired just going through all of their screens. And then on the other end, they're and Mike, everybody knows Mike does such a wonderful job on the defensive side of the floor. And so it's just tough. So now it's tough when you're on offense, it's tough when you're on defense. And that's why I think we want to get up and down. I'm sure Sauk Center does as well, just because it's tough to score sometimes in the half court.
You know, I saw a tweet last week. It was during the St. Cloud Cathedral tournament that somebody tweeted on, I think an AAU coach said, nobody runs X's and O's better than Melrose. That's a pretty good compliment, isn't it?
That's a wonderful compliment. They should come to some of our practices, and it doesn't look that good most of the time, or it's a great compliment. But what makes our X's and O's really good is our players. I mean, everybody's got X's and O's. You know, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. It's not the X's and the O's. I mean, you can run anything you want, but if a guy can't hit a shot or a guy can't make a layup, that was a very nice compliment for us. But the other part is our guys are really smart. I mean, we have smart basketball players, and you don't always have that. So if you don't have smart players, then you're very limited with what you can do. But a lot of our guys, you know, Dylan Hyder, Brady Birch, Regan Nelson, Frankie Safran, those guys have high basketball IQs. So what that does is you tell them at once, and they get it. You know, it's like, all right, if they're doing this, you got to go here, and we're screening and we're shoulder to shoulder. Other guys, you tell them 50 times and they still don't get it. So that was a great compliment to us, but it really is a great compliment to our players.
So now I see Melrose rated number 4 in the state in Class AA basketball, and I'm sure you think back to 2 years ago when those guys were really cruising and winning the state titles, and these guys were pretty young back then. But I'm sure you remind them constantly, look, fellas, we're not in cruise control here. we still have to work, right?
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean, our message right after the game is, you know, we haven't reached our peak. We've got so much that we've got to improve on, and it's all still about March. You know, it's all still about building towards March and trying to play your best basketball in March. So, you know, sometimes when you think you play well, then you look at the film and you're like, oh boy, there's a lot of things there. So. Yeah, the rankings is something we don't talk about, and I'm sure the guys like it and all that stuff, but rankings aren't going to give any points, that's for sure.
Well, you've had some good competition, though, huh? And tonight, again, showed that this Melrose team is shaping up to be a pretty fine squad.
Yeah, you know, you never really know what you got until you play some really good teams. So Cathedral told us a lot, and the Christmas tournament altogether told us a lot. And tonight as well, you know, how do you play against a rival who's really good, you know, in a really good environment. So we learned more tonight.
All right. Nice job tonight,
All right,
Coach.
thank you.
That was fun. All right, that's Ryan Dusha, the Melrose boys basketball coach. And again, Melrose did win tonight 75-65 over the Sauk Center boys.